I'm Lynette Zang, founder and CEO of Zang Enterprises, and I'm very glad and appreciative that you are here today. So just help us grow this channel, subscribe, hit that like button, leave us a comment, and share, because our goal is to enable you to make educated choices that put your best interest first. And I'm telling you, everything that's going on is about hiding things. So you have no idea what's happening. But we're going to talk about a topic today that I've actually been talking about quite a few years. And it's important that you know because we're entering the surveillance economy. So what you're looking at here is from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, and the report that they did in 2023 on third-party data aggregation and the threat to our liberties. So every time we do anything online, every time we use a credit card, whatever, all of that data is gathered and sold. Your data is the product. That's probably not new news to you, and it shouldn't be. But according to this report, and we're going into this a lot more deeply, I've been talking about this since I think the first report I did was 2017. But unchecked, commercial surveillance endangers our privacy, our financial welfare, and our liberty. You know what saves our liberty? There you go. Physical gold, physical silver in your possession. That is completely outside of the system and is very visible to you and me. Well, it's visible to you or whoever holds it. But other than that, it is completely invisible. That's the way I like to be. But there are three things that came out of this report that I found really interesting. Number one, browsing and location data paint an intimate picture of a person's life, including their religious affiliations, health and medical conditions, financial status and sexual orientation, and frankly, a whole lot more. Number two, people have no way to object to, let alone control, how their data is collected, retained, used, and disclosed when these practices are hidden from them. How much control do you think or visibility do you have there? Number three, any safeguards used to maintain people's privacy are often outstripped by companies' incentives and abilities to match data to particular people. So we have no privacy. Now, I'm of an age and a bent that I like a level of privacy. I don't want everybody knowing absolutely everything. And it has nothing to do with whether or not I have anything to hide. Well, if you don't have anything to hide, why do you care? I care because that's about control. And that gives these entities a tool for perception management to nudge you in the direction that they want you to go, that they want you to buy, that they want you to think. It is an extension of a formalized program that's actually been in place since President Reagan initiated that back in the early 80s. So let's just kind of move on. And I know this is wordy. I'm going to get to the point. But this is really what's been happening. With increasing precision, great for technology. With increasing precision, companies are collecting and sharing a staggering amount of information about American consumers. Without much cost or effort, anyone in the United States or abroad can obtain detailed information about where Americans spend their days, sleep at night, what health conditions they have, who they associate with, as well as their religious faith and their political interests. You know, I want you to think about that because I can see the good in technology, but I can also see the danger. And doesn't this stress why it's so important to have something that is completely offline and in your possession? I give these as gifts. If somebody has a baby or somebody gets married or things like that, I don't know where it is. What can I tell you? Right? But even though it's physical for me, it is invisible for the internet, and that's what I want personally. In fact, they're going into this MasterCard, JP Morgan, in FTC study on surveillance pricing. So we're getting specific because we are definitely in a surveillance economy. We've been talking about this for a long time now, and the technology has just gotten to a level that makes it easier, cheaper, no problems. Agency querying firms that offer pricing software to companies, with companies more often setting individualized prices on products. So you can walk into a store, and have you noticed how there aren't necessarily stickers on the goods and services anymore? How come? Thank you, Walmart. That's a great example, but there are many others, so that the price that you pay is based on this information that they know about you, where you live, what your shopping preferences are, all of that. That is surveillance pricing. That means that you aren't going to know. And, this just happened to me because I'm going to be going to California for a friend of mine's granddaughter's birthday, right? So we were looking at the hotel where we were going to stay. And I saw this one hotel, and I saw the price of the room, and I went, okay, that looks like a great place. Let's try that. So I clicked on it, and the price changed immediately when I clicked on it. Has that ever happened to you? I'll bet it has. And I bet you just kind of like I did. I went, that's an interesting glitch, but it makes so much more sense because what was happening was they had all of my history. They know what I like and where I shop and how much I'll spend on things. And they figured that I could spend about $150 more a night on this room than what they were showing me. I did not end up going with them, but I want you to start to just kind of pay attention for yourself to see if you aren't having those same kind of surveillance pricing occurrences. So what these companies, I'm going to give you a list here, but for example, MasterCard and JP Morgan, they provide clients, I love JP Morgan, they provide clients with algorithms that use consumers' personal data to tailor product pricing to individuals, just like I experienced when I was trying to book into a hotel. Now, there are, at this point, but it goes so much deeper than this, 8 companies that are currently in this FTC study, even though they started talking about this in earnest in 2018. Let's see, this is 6 years later. Now they're going to do a study. I find that to be very interesting. Another day. MasterCard, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, all of these guys, there's the list in this particular inquiry, but quite honestly, there used to be purely supply versus demand pricing. So when we're talking about the physical only world, that's the collectible coins. That is a pure supply and demand market. It is physical only. Then you look at this one. Okay, so this is bullion. It's an American Eagle, a new one. That's Wall Street trading pricing because they're using the spot market to manipulate the price. And this will be a combination of whatever's on the spot gold market plus demand. That will impact the premium. But most of this is, frankly, Wall Street trading pricing. And if you think it's just on gold, think again. It's on water, it's on air, it's on everything, real estate, everything has been turned into a Wall Street trading product. And then the third one that we're talking about now, and maybe what we call this is the evolution, is in surveillance pricing, where you and I can go into the same store, but when we go to pay for it, guess what? They have all of the information, and that's when the pricing comes up, and you don't even realize it. And I'm telling you, this has been going on for a very long time, in this evolution to figure out how much they can charge and what these corporations can get away with. So this is from the FTC site. Now remember, you have the links to all of this below. Don't take my word for anything. I'm telling you right now, don't take anybody's word. This could be a better use of cash, depending upon if you're going into the store to buy something, because they wouldn't have that data like they would if you used a debit card or a credit card. But what I thought was really interesting is the photo that they used is from a 1945 issue of Radiocraft magazine that shows the inside of a radio odometer, a device used to monitor what households were listening to on their radios. Now, the difference was is they asked your permission, so you had to opt in. Kind of like today with the insurance companies, right? If you put this device in your car so they can see how you're reading, then maybe your rates go up, maybe they go down. But you have to opt into that. In all of the rest of the surveillance pricing, you're not opting in when you go online, or maybe you are, because who reads that laundry list of itty bitty print? If you want to go onto a site, you click cookies okay, you click okay for their disclaimers, and you don't read the fine print to find out what they're doing, because somewhere they probably are disclosing, but maybe not. So recent media reports indicate that a growing number of grocery store and retailers may be using algorithms to establish targeted prices. Yeah, think? This means that consumers may now be subjected to surveillance pricing when they shop for anything, big or small, online or in person. A house, a car, even their weekly groceries. So there would be a base minimum pricing, but hey, depending upon your activity and what they know about you, by the time you get to the register, is that price the same? And by the way, thinking about grocery stores, when they scan it through, you go pretty quickly. Are you aware of what the price was on the shelf? Or have they taken the prices off the shelf even? So you have no clue. I know that I've noticed when I've gone into stores that where they used to have pricing stickers, the stickers are gone. So why? That's why they can go ahead and change the prices on you. So again, it says, this picture gives us a rare peek into inside one of the first black boxes that collected consumer data. It's a whole lot more sophisticated now. But let's look at some of the companies that have been doing it. Wendy exec says it won't go too greedy with pricing following its surge pricing debacle. So people found out about it. Surge pricing is a little bit different, right? Because when there's a lot of demand for the product can automatically be raised. So when you have heavy demand for, say, like Ubers or things like that, you might have noticed that there's going to be surge pricing. So the prices are going to go up during heavier demand usage. But don't worry, they won't get too greedy. Really? Oh my God. Wendy's faced pushback earlier this year after reports that it would implement dynamic pricing. See, that's just like confiscation. They changed the name so that you are not clear about what they're talking about. But what they're talking about is surveillance pricing. So having the ability to change the price depending upon the time of day or who's purchasing it, that's what they're talking about. What the hey? Because we saw how much advantage they took of us during the the really rapid inflation. There's greedflation, there's shrinkflation. Now there is surveillanceflation. You really have to ask yourself, and at what point are you going to stand up and say no to this? Okie dokie. This is one of the powers of AI, one of the evil powers of AI, artificial intelligence. At McDonald's and Starbucks, partner is being investigated for using artificial intelligence to set prices. I'm sorry, I have a huge problem with this. You should be mad as Hades. I'm mad as Hades about this. The FTC, look, I mean, it's crazy. They've known about this right along. They've even talked about it since 2018, but now this is the way they always work. They allow the private markets to gain all of this huge foothold, but then guess what? They can use it for their own benefit. They don't stop it at the beginning or oversee it or put laws and rules in place to protect you. No. They wait until the damage is done. Then they go in and they protect you. Not. They use it for their benefit. So we're going into a system of CBDCs. OMG. That is all I can say. This is insanity to me. Why would anybody accept this garbage and this level of control and this lack of privacy? I don't care how old you are. It makes no sense. Do you really want them to be able to charge you based upon what they think you are willing to pay or can afford to pay because of all the data that they have on you? Not to even mention how much money all of these companies make by selling this software program, these algorithms, etc. And managing this. So how do you protect against this? Do I really have to say anything here? Seriously. So let's look at really the difference, because we talked about the supply and demand, and it'll be really interesting to see, because to my knowledge, that surveillance pricing is not in this area yet. This is a true supply and demand market. But this is the spot gold market. And, we've talked about this so much, and you can see I didn't draw the lines in, but clearly the breakout is there and the manipulation is there. This is just a contract. They can make as much gold as they want to. So this is about a trading market. That's all this is about. But this is about the collectible gold market, which is only a supply and demand market. It is a much more fair market, in my very strong opinion about this. You get to decide what your opinion is. You want them guiding you and telling you what they're going to do and controlling you and knowing everything about you so they can nudge you in the direction they want you to go and get you to spend the maximum amount that they can get out of you for this. What? Is this surveillance-flation? Yes, I believe it is. How do you feel about this? What are you going to do about this? What I do about it is I make my stuff private. I buy it in a more fair market and I keep it private and invisible. That's what I do. And we're doing some things at Zang Enterprises. We're not quite there yet. You still have to bear in mind we are, a new company. But we've got some things to protect your privacy that we are putting in place. And when I can, I will explain it to you. And for those that are already working with us, by the way, thank you. And if you're talking to one of our strategy specialists, they don't know what it is. So please don't ask them, because I'll get a whole bunch of texts. What were you talking about? I promise you that as we're able to put these things in place, I will let you know. It makes us different than any other gold company out there. As if our strategy wasn't enough. No, it's not. We will constantly be looking out to how we can protect you, how we can help you, how we can meet you where you are and help you get to where you want to be. So if you like this video, please give us a like. leave us a comment. It helps those algorithms attract more people to us. And we believe that everybody needs the information that we're putting out. So share, share, share. I think this is very important for people to be aware of. I mean, it's funny because I did this after I had that personal experience with seeing one price and clicking on it and ba-da-ding, change to another price. In fact, I will probably call that hotel and tell them about my experience and how I will never even attempt to book at their hotel in the future. We have to make a choice. We have to make a stand. Personally, if a store won't accept my cash, I don't shop there. Think about that. Because if you go in and you're paying with cash, they can't really check up on you too much, can they? I think that's one way to protect yourself when you're shopping, and another way is the physical only market. So, keep in mind, we've got to create a revolution, because otherwise the direction that they're taking us in, can you see this direction? Where they will control every single move that you make, every aspect of your life. You want to be independent of that? Make sure that you have security in food, water, energy, security itself, barterability, which for me is silver, wealth preservation, gold, community, because we're running out of time. And we've got to do this together. One person can't do it, but a whole bunch of us together, we can move mountains. We can make change. We're seeing it all over the place. Join this community. Bring people into this community. Quiet revolution by converting out of that garbage into physical metals, gold and silver. And of course, you need shelter as well. Together, we can make a difference, a positive difference for hopefully the world. Maybe I'm crazy, but if not me, who? And if not now, when? I don't know if I can have the full impact that I'd really like to have, which is having a seat at the table in the new system so that it's more fair. And we're not just constantly being taken advantage of, used and abused. This is abuse. This pisses me off. I'm sorry, but this just pisses me off like nobody's business. I hate this. And I hate it. My favorite question, how many times can you be lied to when you do not know the truth? I am showing you the truth, and I'm showing you at least one way. And if you guys have an idea, let us know. We have to combat this together. There's only so much I can know. There's only so much I can do. But together, we can know everything, and we can move mountains. So until next we meet, please be safe out there and protect your privacy. Bye-bye.